You're in the Navy today.
Oh yeah, I'm in the Navy today. This is
My name is Mike Redman. I'm 67.
You don't look a day over 50, mate.
Yeah, sometimes when I wake up in the mornings I feel like 77, but oh, there you go. Alan Wilson.
Morris Page. That's Maurice. Morris Page, Page. Yep. I'm 87.
My name's John Finn.
And how old are you, John?
I'm 74.
George Stryborough,
And how old are you, George? How old are you?
64.
Joseph Patrick Power.
And how old are you, Joseph?
How old am I?
Yeah.
I'm 90 years of age.
Pretty much I found out about it last year, so a year and a bit.
I've only actually been coming about 3 months now, I think. That's it. I didn't know about it. Well, I was always in more local area, Hackney. So when I heard about this, I thought it sounds good. So getting going, it is a great place to come.
Since it started in this part of the world, it's in Chingford, yeah?
Since it started a year and a bit ago now, I think. So
4 months.
Well, ever since I heard about it, in actual fact.
Because I'm over at the Hackney side of things, and we get emails from some of the organisers, and even though like Islington, the person who runs Islington, we were told about the Chingford one, but I never really gave it much thought, and then I decided, oh, that sounds good, so I came out, and great, yeah, actually I prefer this lot, because it's a much nicer venue. It's very colourful. The characters you meet, lots of people meets a lot. So it helps a lot, especially when you're retired and you sort of stay at home all the time. You come out and you meet people, and it's like a unique environment. It really is great.
Yeah, because I think it was one of my family that put me in touch with it, and then I had a visit from them, and I joined up. I thought, well, it's a good organisation to belong to. Keep my hand in, socialise a bit more, because my wife died from Alzheimer's and I was living on my own. Most of my family, in fact, live over in North London, in Chelsea and Highgate and so on.
Well, we obviously we relate to each other because we know what we've done, what we've been through, and the phraseologies that we use, the terminology. Other people who are non-military wouldn't know that. So instantly you get there. There's the sense of humour that only the armed forces have, and the camaraderie of knowing that we've all experienced.
Well, of course, you get, excuse me, you get the old camaraderie that you don't have anymore. And because we live in a society now where no one really talks to anyone anymore. So you come here and you have a good laugh. We all come from different backgrounds, doesn't matter where you come from. But there's a common bond, it's a common bond, it's camaraderie, and it's basically military. But you could, obviously, most of us retired, so we're not going to go back into the military. But it's establishing and taking forward that sort of life, you know, the same sort of life you've always had. But of course, we're all civilians now, and we don't. Not so right to say that we miss anything. We just like to be together. We have a laugh. We don't. It's once a month maybe for most of us.
Well, it's twofold with me. I moved recently from Beckton in East London over to Chingford because my wife is in care here and my daughter's just over the road there. So I moved to be nearer to them. And so, it's got me to know people in the area because I go to the Age UK meetings down at the old library as well. There's one a month, I think, and it's also got me to meet new friends, plus the joshing of the old ex-service, you know, you're with Navy guys, Army guys, and you all have a go at each other. It's just a sheer comradeship, you know, and it's given me a grounding in a new area. I've got friends. We're going on a bus trip up to March in near Peterborough tomorrow, you know, to see a forces fair. It's general togetherness and comradeship, you know. That's what it's done for me.
Yeah, I have a particularly sort of lonely sort of life, really. Everyone's sort of doing their own thing, so, and I'm sort of like getting divorced as it happens, but yeah, it's quite a lonely existence, but I try to keep myself busy, hence the reason why I do that. We also have breakfast clubs, no, apart from the breakfast clubs, we also have tea and biscuit meetups every fortnight. So there are other things to do, but it's all military orientated, which is what I like.
Yes, you can do, but I mean, over the years, I've learned I've kept myself busy. But I would say I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. But I know when I come to these places, you're always going to have a good laugh. So it's always something to put in your mind that you're not by yourself. You've got people out there. So you put that loneliness outside your mind, and I think that makes a big difference.
No, I've been very fortunate. I make friends fairly easily, again through things like the Breakfast Club, the British Legion, plus my youngest daughter lives in Chingford as well, you know. So, no, I'm okay in that respect, yeah.
Well, you do, as I say, because I'm a former television engineer, I've built a lot of my electronic stuff, and I keep in contact with friends and people that I used to know, and with the rest of my family. So I pass my time that way. I've got other hobbies, you know, a bit of carpentry, a bit of writing and stuff like that, and going to church, and you know, generally putting myself about a bit. And that's it.
Being a bit lonely, what I do is this, as you know, most breakfast clubs only run once a month. Yeah. So what I do is I find different breakfast clubs, so I get to go to one pretty much every week. So it's the same. Some of the guys from here will go to the other ones. Yeah. So it's something I enjoy doing.
There's nothing really I can do. I don't know. I mean, it's just fun. You know, you get breakfast. You obviously pay for your breakfast. You get free coffee. You know, so I can't complain about it. It's a great place to come. You know.
No, I mean, not really. It's a great idea. What we are trying to do is we're trying to find ways that we can expand it and find more people. There's a lot of ex-military guys out there, a lot of veterans, and it's finding a platform to try and reach out to them and invite them into it. The more the merrier. Yeah, of course. The more we have it, and of course, you know, we're going to look forward to. We have a lot of Christmas do's as well, you know, and we had a great time over the Jubilee. So it's just trying to, because the more the merrier. The more people we can get into this, the more fulfilling it is. And of course, everybody swaps numbers, and then you're communicating with people, not just at the breakfast club, because we all get each other's numbers. So we check on each other. How are you? How are you doing? Some guys are fortunate. I'm one of them. My health is pretty robust. but there are other guys whose health isn't so robust. So being able to talk to them, you know, how are you, mate? Is there anything I can do for you? So it's a network of ex-military that can watch over, look after, and communicate with each other. So that's about how it should be.
Again, it's a laugh. It's you know, I mean, I like a drink, right? But I don't go into a pub or the British Legion very early now, because you buy a drink, someone buys you a drink, and before you know where you are, you're on your back. Here, there's no drink, and you just have the same comradeship and laugh. I mean, you can hear the chat that's going on there. They're all taking the mickey out of each other, basically. It's good fun.
It's a great place just to talk. People can be isolated, and we've met a few on the befriender side of things as how many people are isolated. You get to certain ages, and even younger than us. I mean, we know there's people with issues, obviously from their armed service days and things like that. So people need to talk it out sometimes, or just to talk, not feel alone.
The Breakfast Club for veterans is, in my eyes, is fantastic, because you get to meet people you haven't met before. You meet new friends and tell war stories and whatever else. And it's just a good way, once a month, getting together. What I would say to them is come to the Breakfast Club to meet new people and be with an organisation who helps all veterans.
Well, I say it's a group of, you know, like most of us are veterans. I'll say you get a great laugh and the social interaction, the camaraderie. What that does is that takes you out the loneliness bracket, and it brings you into a greater social group. So you know you're never by yourself. You can always find help from someone, and there's always knowledgeable people there who know someone who knows something. If you, so for instance, if you said you had a problem financial, you had a problem with accommodation, there's always someone that you can link up with. So it's got that great linkage. You can network to find out if you have a problem. You can always find someone who can help you out.
I'm Peter McCafferty. I'm administrator for Islington initially. I set it up obviously 5 years ago. Well, I'm the London rep for the Armed Forces Veterans Breakfast Club, and I look after Islington, Hackney and Help Here. I mean, I'm not in. We call administrators, that's the main role we have, to try and keep the communication going on Facebook, emails, and getting people to do things and to help people who generally have got problems when they come out. Because I came out of the Air Force over 30 years ago and I was cut adrift, I didn't know what I was going to do, and now it's not so bad, but it still does have its moments where there are homeless and people out there who cannot work out what to do next. And they do commit suicide, they do the worst things ever. I think an average of 22 people per day commit suicide, and most of them are ex-service. They just don't see any point. And when you don't see any point, you've got to make the point to help them. So basically we do a lot of morale boosting. It's pull up a sandbag, come and talk about your mental health or anything, but it's what they want to talk about, not what you want to talk about. It was set up 11 years ago to do with post-traumatic stress disorder, because that is the illness most of us in the services and now the emergency services do suffer from. And the remedy is to try and help them through it and their families through it, because it's not just a one person. But some people don't accept the fact they've got it, and it takes a lot to admit you're mentally health or you've got a problem or a disability. It's actually accepting it. Yes, it does. Particularly people who live alone or are single. You see them out on the street and they'll say they are what they are, but they just need a little bit of confidence to stop them doing anything that they shouldn't be doing. I mean, I stopped a guy when I was in the Olympics jumping off London Bridge. He said he had enough, time was at the end, and we managed to talk to him, buy him a meal, and he was going to jump off the bridge at 12, and we were still talking to him at 2 o'clock. And I said to him, do you now feel that you want to go and jump off the bridge? Because if you do, I'll come with you. He didn't jump off London Bridge, obviously. He's still alive today and he's still alive kicking, and he helps us by telling the story that I've just told, because it is a story. Everyone has a story to tell, but some of them are very grim and some of them are very happy. But I say I always feel more sympathetic with the family and the children of someone who's got a problem, because it isn't just them, it is the family and people as well. But it's just doing what we're doing and just keep it going, making awareness and just letting the tribe grow, I think they call it.
My name is David Hale, and I'm employed by Age UK as a Veterans Coordinator along with Alistair Martin, and together we cover Chingford, Waltham Forest and Enfield. It's through funding from the Armed Forces Covenant to try and tackle loneliness for veterans on the boroughs. About a year and a bit ago we started up an Armed Forces Veterans Breakfast Club, which is a separate entity. It's a nationwide organisation, again for veterans and the armed forces, to get together in a social setting to chat and prevent that loneliness that creeps in. It allows them to meet people that are like-minded and they feel free to talk. We also run 3 coffee clubs a month with the Breakfast Club at the beginning of each month. The impact of the Breakfast Club is really to meet like-minded people, to be able to sit, to chat, to make friends, talk with them about activities, places that they've served and some of the things that they've been through. It also gives them an opportunity to make friends that they can talk about out with the time. A lot of veterans say that the most difficult time is in the evening. Lots of activities during the day. So we maintain contact with them, but they also have that ability to make friends and speak to them, and they've exchanged numbers and things like that. Well, the benefit is that over the year that we've been running the Breakfast Club, we've been able to build that trust in the members that we have. Thereby, we've had members that have come forward and have said things on behalf of other people who perhaps haven't been able to say things themselves. We've identified people with various issues, with addictions, whether it be alcohol or drugs. We've had people that have felt worried about their gambling and other health issues that we've been able to divert them and refer them to other people. We're quite lucky that within the Breakfast Club we've got one of the chaps is a member of SAFA, is the area manager, and we've got one guy who works for Op Courage for the NHS. And we have a good link with other agencies and other charities. So if we can't help them through Age UK, we can divert them to the military charities. There's something like 2,000 military charities, all of which have funding that can be given, but it's identifying the right one to suit the needs of that person that we're helping. Well, we started off with 30 members. We now have built that up to 70, just over 70, and it's continuing to grow. The actual breakfast clubs link in with one another, so we've got members that come from here, but they also go to Hackney and Islington, where they can build up further bonds with other members. And we're quite lucky within this one that we cover all of the services. We've got submariners, we've got parachutists, we've got merchant navy that attend, we've got even some ex-police officers that come along that, you know, they can be treated for PTSD just like the military. There is a great need for support for veterans and being able to give them that opportunity to express themselves, to meet friends. And you know, we had one, for example, where we had an event where one of the guys turned up and suddenly realised that one of the chaps that he'd served with 20 odd years ago was sitting in the room opposite him. So again, building and contacts and links, making those friendships are very important, and anything that we can do to support the veterans, we'd be pleased to do.